It's John, Jay, and Rich. Our phone number is 877-937-1047. You know, I'm living in a hotel right now because our pipes in my house are being replaced. I can't explain it. It's terrible. I've had stuff done to my house before for past flooding, you know, but this is a disaster. My house looks like Swiss cheese. There's just holes on every wall, and it's just terrible. It's terrible, terrible, terrible. And it's starting to take this huge effect on my family because we are in a hotel, but we still go home to get things. And then it's like you have to unzip plastic to go through.
Oh, yeah.
And so I wake up this morning, and my life isn't my normal routine. You guys know, as I share my life on the show, that I have very strict routines. So I'm adjusting. And the first thing I did when I woke up this morning was check my phone and my Instagram. And I really don't do that until I'm here. And I have all these DMs and people saying, it's war. It's war. And I'm like, it's war? What are they talking about? And then I'm like looking, and there's no, like, they're not responding to a post of mine, and they're not responding to a post of something. It just says it's war. I'm like, what the hell is it? And it was all happening at 9 o'clock last night. So I come in here, and Lord and behold, it has something to do with Peyton Whitmore. What happened?
Listen to that laugh.
Okay.
That sounds diabolical.
I know. Because it is war, John Jay. I'm telling you right now, today is the day. It is so on between me and you, because yesterday I posted this really embarrassing video of myself on my Instagram, and it's of my veneers that are not cemented into my teeth yet, and one of them just flies off.
It's a great video.
It is so great.
So funny.
It's a video that should have 100 million views.
It totally should, and I think we're on the way there, so go like it and go look at it because it's pretty funny. But on there, John Jay decided that he wanted to screenshot my missing tooth, and my eyes are like wide open. I literally look like a cartoon character.
You look like a meme.
Yeah. And then he posts it as his profile picture on Facebook.
I was trying to put it on Instagram, but it wouldn't work.
So I'm like, okay, all right. And I kind of just sat with it, and I went home, and I told my boyfriend, Kadeem, and he was like, okay, kind of laughing about it, whatever. And last night, Kadeem has decided that he wants to do Kadeem's predictions once a week, because I do Peyton's predictions every morning, so he wants to steal my bit. Anyways, he's telling the story how John Jay posted the picture of me on his Facebook, and he was like, everybody right now get off this live and go spam John Jay. It's war. It's on. So it's Kadeem's fault, really. He told everyone to spam John Jay.
Wait a minute. How's it war? It's your video.
I know.
You posted it. So it's not like if you would have sent me that screenshot privately, go, oh my God, look at my teeth. And then I posted it, it's war. It has 150,000 views last I checked. So the 150,000 people are liking it and comment on it, but I took a screenshot of it and it's war.
Yep,
you
that's
posted
exactly
it.
Right. That is exactly right. So it's war. So don't catch yourself slipping, John Jay, because I'm coming for you.
Well, I'll change it then. I don't want war.
It's funny. I like the attention.
You're about the peace and the love.
I just thought it's absolutely. There's so many memes out there, and when I look at this, I like this thing should be humongous.
It's ready. In the video,
like you're the new Haktua.
I'll take gosh.
It. That video is unbelievable.
When your tooth just falls out, like you have this beautiful smile, and you're like, oh my God, look, and all of a sudden, boop, boop, the tooth falls out.
Yeah, I was struggling because I felt like my eyebrows weren't done, my lashes weren't on. I just felt so ugly, and John just decided to post it as his profile picture.
Hey, well, I apologize. My life is in shambles.
Yeah. What you were saying, it doesn't sound like you're going to be back there in a few days. It sounds like that's going to go.
My wife talked to when I went through the house yesterday, and I took video and I showed my wife. She called the main guy, and she's like, "So, are you still telling us it's going to be done by Friday?" And then when she hung up the phone, she goes, "He didn't seem too confident."
I can't imagine.
When you said that they quoted 10 days, but they're replacing all the pipes in your house, I was like,
it's terrible.
Yeah, because you still got to do all the other stuff. Once you replace them, you got to do all the drywall and all that stuff. Right?
I have this guy that I've become friends with at my doctor's office, and he owns a construction company, older guy. And I said to him, I go, "Hey, check this out." I told him, he goes, "Oh man," because you know what I would do? And he's built like stadiums and stuff. He goes, "I would get a big insurance policy in your house and just kind of burn it, light it on fire."
Oh my God.
And I'm like, I don't think I can do that. Like, he was looking at me like I've done this many times. I was like, no. But meanwhile, my kids, like my son Jake, he has routine, so it's throwing him off completely, right? My son Kemp makes all his food and is like very much into trying to adjust his life. Dutch, room service every night.
He's thriving.
He's walking around the pool at the hotel with a glass with kombucha walking around. He's like, hey, hello, Dad. And I'm like, what? Like, the other day, I caught part of it on video. This has happened every night so far. We have dinners, a family, whatever. My wife and I go to our room. They have their room. And I had to call up for something. And when I open up the door, I see a guy with room service come into our room. And it's pizza, it's ice cream. I'm like, what's this? And the guy opens the door, and there's Dutch. And I go, you guys just ate. And he goes, this is for Kemp. And Kemp goes, no, it's not. And it was all for Dutch. He's ordering room service like crazy.
He's like the sweet life of Dutch, just like the TV show on Disney.
He's like living life,
that
man.
joint.
It's not. And then I love practical jokes. Listen to this practical joke. So we had to move from one room to another room a couple days ago, and I wasn't there. I was at the doctor's office shooting some video stuff. So I was at home. So the hotel was going to move Blake and I from one room to the other room, literally across the hall, right? So my kids went into the room and put on the flat screen. You know, you can buy adult entertainment.
Yes.
Right? Which I haven't done that. I've seen that in a long time in a hotel. But now in this hotel, you can get, it's hardcore, right?
Hey.
And they brought up the menu. And Blake took a screenshot and sent it to me. And it's the most graphic. The words of the movie are a terrible name of a movie.
So it looks like you were surfing around?
Yeah. But it looks like Blake was surfing around. So the guys come in to move us, and there it is on the TV. And Blake's like, oh, my God. And then the guys are embarrassed. They grab the remote and try to change it, and they can't change it. Then they go to another room in our hotel room, and there it is there also. And they can't change it, and they're freaking out. Blake's like, I swear, it's not us. I have 3 boys, and they're playing a practical joke. And it's really, really fun. I almost want to post it, but I don't know how because it's so graphic.
You gotta like bleep out some of the words, blur them out.
Yeah, you gotta blur
I can tell you the first word is monster.
Oh gosh.
Okay, say no more.
I think we're good.
Kiss FM, John J. Rich. That's Sabrina Carpenter who's coming here. We got tickets to give away like 5 times a day. You got to keep listening to the radio station, and we'll give you a keyword. Meanwhile, I did a hanging with the dogs with Sabrina Carpenter, me, her, and a bunch of puppies. And if you go to YouTube and search Hanging with the Dogs, Sabrina Carpenter, you can watch the video, and it's awesome seeing her personality with cute dogs. And she brought her dog, too. So that's on YouTube, John J. and Rich channel, or Hanging with the Dogs channel. Kyle, what's 3 things we need to know?
We have a new Stanley Cup champion. If you happen to miss the game.
I keep thinking about the cup. I think about what you're drinking.
I
don't think about the hockey thing.
Not the Stanley Cup,
It was
the
great.
hockey NHL Stanley
It was
Cup.
a great series, actually. I watched most of it.
The Florida Panthers, they beat the Oilers in Game 7. They had won the first 3 games, lost the second 3 games, won this game. Hooray for the Panthers. It's their first Stanley Cup they've ever won. So
I've
I
never
love
even heard
stories
of that
like
before.
that.
That's exciting.
I've heard of the football
Yeah.
team.
You know,
Nope,
I
not the
feel
football
like
team.
any Game 7 is always good to watch, and hockey is just so intense when it's playoff time. It was really fun to watch.
I'm glad you got to see it.
And now we know that the Coyotes won't have their chance at the Stanley Cup because that development of bringing them back to Phoenix isn't happening anymore.
No, they got sold.
Yeah, and they were going to bring them back, like trying to bring back another team, and it got broken last night that it's not happening. And I'm sad for all of our hockey fans out here.
I know. Maybe one day. Maybe
Yeah,
one day we'll
fingers
get
crossed.
them back. Paramount Plus has hopped on the raising their prices train. They are going to increase their monthly rates on all the different tiers starting next month. Peacock and Max have also recently given us bigger bills.
That's a mistake for Paramount Plus because they're not in the critical mass yet. Right?
Right,
There's
I
some
know.
that I need. I need Max.
I need Netflix.
I need Netflix and then Hulu.
That's about
And I need Amazon too. I like the shows
that's
on
true.
Amazon. But like so far, nothing has made me want to go buy Paramount Plus.
Well, I mean, they got Yellowstone and all
Still,
those shows.
it didn't matter to me. Yellowstone. I was so into Yellowstone, and I did not buy it for season 5. So that's a mistake, Paramount.
It's definitely a wow. And it's really annoying because if you want all the streaming services, it's so expensive. Like it really adds up. Even though they're just raising it $1 or $2, it still definitely adds up. If you have trouble sleeping, a new study found that microdosing LSD could lead to not only earlier bedtimes, but also longer sleep durations and probably better sleep scores on your Whoop and Aura rings, Jajay.
more
Where does
dreams.
one get LSD?
Okay, yeah. So it's definitely a potent hallucinogenic. And so they say you can't really do this by yourself. You'd have to find like a medical professional that's licensed to use LSD.
That's so
Which
random.
Or somebody at a
It's almost
club.
Few
like
and far between.
it's like if you're having trouble sleeping, if you down a bottle of tequila, You'll be able to go to
It's
sleep.
worse than that, actually, right? It's worse than that. But they've been doing a lot of testing with psychedelics, like mushrooms and stuff like that, in the mental health world. And so now maybe they're trying it in this health and wellness
I've done
part
that.
of the world too.
I did the mushroom thing. Remember?
Yeah,
and
I do remember
with a
that.
professional.
Yeah, with a professional. That's what I'm saying. So they say, don't do this on your own, but maybe find a professional that can help you through it. And that's 3 things you need to know.
The vibe for horoscopes, Peyton.
I'm going to tell you which iconic TV show you are based on your zodiac sign.
877-937-1047. Michelle, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you all?
Okay. What's your sign?
Okay.
I am a Capricorn.
Perfect. Capricorn, I'm actually really excited for this one for you guys. The iconic show that is fitting for you guys is The Crown. I know we've watched it in here. Capricorn's admiration for tradition and structure and hard work is going to be perfectly satisfied with The Crown. So the shows kind of show off the British monarchy's history, which you're into.
Wow, I like that one.
It's a good show.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, Michelle. Dara? Is it Dara or Dara?
Yeah, you got it. It's Dara.
All right, Dara. What's your sign?
I'm a Virgo, like you.
All right. Virgos, the show for you guys is Sherlock. Virgos, you guys have that analytical mind and attention to detail, and you would love the cleverness and the intricacies of Sherlock. Solving crimes is right up your alley.
It sure is. Right, look out.
Have you watched Sherlock?
I have, and I think that is perfect. What do you think?
Well, there's the Sherlock with, what's her face from Millie Bobby Brown, where she plays Sherlock's sister. And then there's Sherlock with, what's his face? Cumberbatch?
Yeah, Benedict Cumberbatch.
I couldn't get into it. But
So, I thought it was pretty good, but I think it's, I think it's on point for us because we will figure things out.
that is true. That is true. Well, thank you for listening.
All right, thank you.
Joe, what's your sign?
What do you think?
Me?
Yeah.
Gemini.
Gemini, one of my favorite shows out here. Stranger Things is the show for you guys. With your curious and adaptable nature, Geminis, you guys would be hooked on the mysterious and the changing world of Stranger Things and the Upside Down. Plus, you're going to enjoy the mix of the genres and stuff like that.
All right, Joe. Good luck.
Okay.
Janelle, what's your sign? Janelle.
Did you say Janelle?
Yes.
Good morning.
Hi.
Sorry, it cut out. Your connection's bad.
Yeah, tell me about it. We've been working on it for a while.
We got great phones.
Yeah. What's your sign?
It just got silent. I'm like, oh, I am a Scorpio.
Okay, Scorpio, the iconic show for you guys is Breaking Bad. Intense and mysterious. Scorpios, you guys are going to be captivated by that dark, complex world of Breaking Bad, where power and transformation plays central roles. Also a really good show. Iconic.
Definitely see that.
Heck yeah.
All right, Janelle.
Totally agree.
What about for Libras?
Libras, Kyle, the show Friends. That's the iconic TV show for you. Social and charming, Libras will adore the camaraderie and the lighthearted humor of Friends. You guys thrive on relationships and balance, much like this show's dynamics.
Yeah, I love that.
It's a fun one.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Finally, that's one where I'm like, okay, well, actually, Sherlock was good too for
Yeah.
Virgos because you tried to figure things out. But I just like shows.
I know.
What about for Pisces? For
Yeah,
Rich?
Rich for Pisces, The Witcher. That's,
Ooh, that's
the
a
show
cool show.
for you guys. Dreamy and mystical. Pisceans will be enchanted by that fantasy world of The Witcher, filled with magic and monsters and complex characters.
I like all that
you
stuff.
guys.
I like it. That's why I like Game of Thrones. I like all that stuff.
Look at that.
Did you watch the new Game of Thrones?
I haven't seen a new one yet.
I
no.
watched it last night.
Good?
So boring.
Really?
I think a show like that can't be boring.
It
Yeah.
can't be, especially since there's only like 8 episodes.
Yeah. All right, what
Bummer.
about for you for Leo?
Leo, I think this one is so fitting for us, and it's the OG Gossip Girl. Leos, with our flair for drama and love for being the center of attention, we will find Gossip Girl's world of high fashion and high stakes irresistible.
Today, if you are Cancer, today's Cancer, right?
Yeah.
If you're, okay, so what about Cancer?
It's a really good one, and it's This Is Us. That show, you guys remember? Emotional,
Sure.
family-oriented. Cancers will relate deeply to the tear-jerking, heartwarming stories of This Is Us. I cried like a baby every episode.
Yeah.
Is there a sign that it's the Dallas Cowboy cheerleader show?
No.
All right. If we didn't get to your sign there, I'll post it on our website, johnjanerich.com. 877-937-1047. A 2-night stay at the Bahia is on the line, but you have to answer a question about something that happened during horoscopes. We're going to ask a question. Janine, are you there? You're the first person we're going to ask a question to. Got it? Janine Chandler, are you there?
I am here.
Okay.
Yes, good morning.
Okay, here we go. The question is, what sign was the TV show Friends?
Oh, that was Kyle's Libra.
Oh my God!
You're going to San Diego.
Oh my gosh.
You guys are awesome.
You had your listening ears on.
Yes, I did.
Well, congratulations, Janine and Chandler. You're going to the Bahia Hotel. 2-night stay.
Woo, thank you, guys.
You got it. Hold on the line. We'll set you up. We're doing it every day, by the way, during horoscopes. You got to pay attention to horoscopes. We also get another trip actually a little less than 2 hours from now. Another trip, and that's to the Catamaran, and that comes with 4 tickets to SeaWorld. Stacks and hacks. I got stacks of information. Rich has life hacks. Today in Stacks. In a new poll, 61% of Americans say they'd be interested in a dupe of a vacation destination. Do you want to know what a dupe of a vacation is? Anyone know?
No.
That's like instead of going to Nashville, you go to Memphis. Instead of going to you go to Napa instead of going to Tuscany, Italy. Instead of going to Scottsdale, you go to Apache Junction.
Okay.
That is almost the same.
In fact, here I have other examples. Go on. Hold up.
Yeah, isn't there a place in Florida you can go instead of the Maldives? You still get the,
You go
Right,
to the
so
Virgin
it's like-
Islands instead of the Bahamas. You go to Belfast instead of London.
And those places are cheaper.
Yeah, you go to Curacao instead of St. Martin.
Probably easier to get to, too.
You go to Western Colorado instead of Iceland. You go to Newport, Rhode Island instead of Nice, France. That kind of stuff.
I would be into something like that. That'd be fun.
Have you seen the TikTok challenge called raw dogging?
Yes.
Yes.
I
I
have.
saw your post about it.
It's hilarious. It's like when you intentionally avoid all entertainment and just stare at the back of the seat of the back seat of the seat in front of you the whole trip. Like, how boring is that?
I know. I'm like, you're really just ruining the fun for yourself.
But to keep your eyes open. I mean, I get napping, but what they say, their term for raw dogging is eyes open, wide awake, 7 hours, no water, no food, no snacks, just staring at the map in front of you.
I posted on Facebook last night and I got a message from a woman saying that her husband does that all the time.
It is kind of fun to try to stay off your phone and not even look at it, though, but the other stuff is impossible.
A woman claims she filed for divorce because her husband wouldn't stop over tightening all the jar lids to the point where she couldn't open them. She says it may seem minor, but she was losing her mind. Man in Florida on a tricycle with a machete in its basket fought with another man over a flashlight. Both men sustained minor cuts. The police are investigating. The newest world's ugliest dog is an 8-year-old Pekingese named Wild Thing. And the reason I tell you this is because I like the way they introduced it. This is so funny when you think about it. Like the dog just sitting there, and then all of a sudden the big announcement of the world's ugliest dog is right here as soon as I find it. Where is it? Oh, here it is. Wild Thing.
The world's ugliest dog is Wild Thing.
He got second 3 years in a row. First year, nothing.
Yeah.
So then 3 years in a row, he got second, and we're like, let's just go again because
One
it's so
more.
much
Never
fun.
a
If
brag,
not,
always a
we'll
brag.
go back the next year.
He was ugly enough this year.
Even ugly is beautiful.
So I told you guys I watched this movie on Netflix about sharks in Paris.
Yeah.
And the sharks were in this river called the Seine River, Seine River. And I've been to Paris like twice, but I didn't pay attention to any river. I didn't know. I know Eiffel Tower. I don't know the river, right? Well, now this river is the river Seine. Do you guys know how to say it? Seine? I don't know.
I think you're close.
Yeah,
Actually.
so people in Paris are pissed off about the Olympics, so they're protesting it. So they decided to poop in the river.
I've seen
Everybody's
this.
trying to poop in the river.
And they're
It's
doing
like,
it.
But why? Like, why do we think that that's going to be an effective protest?
Well, the mayor said she was going to swim in it to prove that the river was safe to swim in.
Clean enough.
So people have been like, they've been pooping in it to make it, like not great. So she announced the date of the next day she was going to swim in it, and they're just going to poop in it again.
Yeah.
It's so
And
weird.
it's like, if you've ever been to France, like, it already kind of smells like number 2, so it's
It kinda
already
does.
like...
So it's gonna be like, oh, you guys, everyone pooped through. Okay, you know what? Let's not do the Olympics here. Oh, your protest
I
work.
know it's still
Like,
happening.
it's gonna happen.
She just may not swim in the river.
All right. Hold on. Oh, so nobody here watched Game of Thrones. So one of the actresses from Game of Thrones, Olivia Cook, she had this big sex scene on episode 2, which I watched last night. Big sex scene on House of Dragon. Apparently, they cut out the part where she, like, reaches ecstasy. And she says, if they weren't going to use it, why do they make me do that? Is what the actress says.
She's got a good point.
I don't remember one sex scene in last night's episode. I don't know what they're talking about. I watched the whole thing.
Well, maybe they cut the whole thing, or you're saying it was on the show.
She's saying they cut that one part out. Now, I know there was a sex scene in the first episode, right? But I don't remember. They're saying in the second episode there was not one.
In the first season, there's about a 15-minute long sex scene. It just keeps going.
Oh, I would not want to watch that.
And going.
I'm kind of glad I never watched an episode of
Game of Thrones is just way too gory for me. I can't get down.
If you think that's gory, you should watch. Are you watching The Boys at all?
No. What's The Boys?
The Boys season 4 of The Boys dropped on Amazon. It is so disturbing.
See, I can't do the
but
blood
kind of
and
a
stuff.
fun disturbing, if that makes sense.
I don't know.
Well, it's comic book.
It's like superheroes that are mean
Oh, okay.
and torture people and vicious and violent and then funny. What do you got for life hacks, Rich?
Okay, let's talk about anxiety. You have an anxious mind. I mean, everybody has an anxious mind every now and then. But they say for the most part, if you're anxious and you go like, you know what? I don't know why I'm so anxious. It's because you are low on folate. So the quickest way to replenish and feel less anxious, like within minutes, is to eat asparagus. So it sounds crazy. You're anxious. You don't know why. Eat asparagus, but please try it. 1 cup alone gives you 2/3 of your daily recommended value. And I don't know if you love asparagus, but a lot of people do. And you should, grill it up and have some and feel better about your anxious mind. That life hack and many more can be found at johnjandrich.com.
I'm a big fan of Sabrina Carpenter's. She's been working hard, man. Now she's getting all the success. Good for her. Number 1 song. Not that song, but the Please, Please, Please song.
Please.
Number
Such a
1.
good
Yeah,
song.
yeah. We're going to get into friend trips because something just happened to Kyle, right? Where you just planned something. Peyton, you're excited about something you're doing as well. But then I don't want to burst your bubbles, but that's kind of what I do. Because then I have an experience I'd like to share. But go ahead. What happened with you, Kyle?
Okay. So we have friends, my husband and I, and we really became friends with these people because of our kids. My babysitter actually met my friend Ashlyn. She's my friend now, wasn't my friend at the time, at the library when my daughter was 1.5. Okay. And so she became like friendly with her because our kids got along. And then eventually our daughters did dance together and we've blossomed into this really great friendship. Like right now, she's one of my best friends, which is awesome. I love making new friends. And this is someone that I can see being a lifelong friend. And I envision us at our kids' weddings together. I mean,
Oh, that's sweet.
Remember when they were friends and they were 1.5? It was this beautiful thing. So we're doing something. We talked about going on a trip together, maybe around Christmas time. And I was like, ooh, that's going to be that's a lot, a week-long trip. That's kind of there feels like there's some type of pressure there, right? We get along really well. Our kids get along really well. And I just foresee, if it's a disaster, could this change the trajectory of our friendship that I've envisioned? So we opened up about how both of our families did summer bucket lists with our kids. And both of us want to go up to a cabin. And so we're like, what if we went together? That would be so fun. Your family could get a cabin, our family could get a cabin, and we would be there together. And then we found this cabin that would fit all of us.
Same cabin, though, not
same cabin.
See you later.
There's
everybody goes to bed, wakes up together.
2 king-size bedrooms, and then there's this cool loft where all the kids would fit. And we're like, should we do this? And we're like, I think we should do this. So we booked this cabin, and now I'm a little worried about it because number 1, you guys know how weird I am about people seeing me without makeup, and so that's not going to happen. So now I'm going to have to figure out how to maneuver around that. It's okay. I'm just going to wake up way earlier than everyone else. I already figured that out. But
Where's Kyle? You haven't seen Kyle this whole trip.
You figured that out your whole life. We've known you forever, and we've never seen you without makeup.
You're going to be on vacation. You have to get up at 4 a.m. to put your makeup
fine.
on.
I'll do it. I don't even care. That's
what
fine.
you do.
So I've already worked that out. That's totally fine. But then I'm kind of what if we get sick of each other? A whole weekend together, nonstop in the same cabin. There's not even let's go get a breath of fresh air in our space. And I'm worried that we're going to get sick of each other. And then I'm but then we kind of already have a trip planned for around the Christmas time. Is it going to ruin that? And is it going to ruin the friendship? And I'm having all this anxiety and stress over it. But I'm really excited about it at the same time.
And what
I
about
feel
the
anxiety. I think it sounds terrible.
What about the husbands? What about Scott?
They totally get along.
Oh, they do?
Oh, yeah. They're new besties, too.
Okay.
They both, they bonded over bourbon, and they have, their own little,
Well, that's great.
man friendship.
Man friendship.
Yeah.
I feel for you. I totally feel for you, but it's so the anxiety. For me, it was I have CPAP. Like the first time I experienced it, we went to that Young Life camp.
Yeah.
Right, my family, my sister's family, to a friend of ours. We all went, and also I had to like sleep in a bunker with a bunch of dads, and I have a CPAP. And like, you don't want people to see your face on makeup. I'm so vulnerable with my CPAP. I didn't want people, and it was miserable, and I hated every second of it. But the whole concept of Young Life was great. Then my friend Kevin Rowe from Lerner and Rowe, it was his birthday, and his wife surprised him by taking everybody. They asked a year in advance if we would go, if Blake and I would go, and I said yes. And I remember his wife called my wife and was surprised that I said yes. I was surprised I said yes. It was a year in advance.
Because it doesn't seem real. Like, it's a year away, yes.
And I mean, and it was first class. Like, we flew private to Cabo. They rented this house on the beach, and there were 3 couples. It was supposed to be 4 days. I was there one day.
And you left?
And I was like, I'm out of here.
Oh my gosh, John.
Because they were all annoying me. All of them.
Really?
All of
Oh
them.
my gosh, but that is also just you in your natural habitat. Like, they should have known that was going to happen.
And I don't regret it at all.
How did you leave if you flew privately there? Like, what did you do? Find up just a...
Fuck on my ways.
So you spend more time trying to get home than you would have, like, bonding
Just spent
with
a lot of time getting home. It was quick. Ben Affleck. What happened?
It's wild to see what's happening. So he's possibly in the middle of splitting up with Jennifer Lopez. She's enjoying her life. She's doing Paris Fashion Week, flying commercial, which was crazy to see.
Yeah, that was wild.
And he's at home with his kids. And just last night, paparazzi were waiting at the bottom of his driveway, snapping pictures as he was leaving his home. And it looks like he's going too fast, scrapes the bottom of his car, pulls it around, and stops. Gets out of his car and confronts the paparazzi.
Don't flash your light if someone's driving down the driveway. Listen, you do have a light. Don't do that. That's dangerous. You don't even know if that's me. It cause an accident. Right, you're right. Stop, man. It's dangerous what you guys are doing. Do you understand? I can't see. You're gonna get somebody hurt doing it.
Then he warns them. He's like, my daughter is coming down next. If you're flashing at her, you're going to hear about it. Like, don't do it.
He's right.
He's right. And you look at the picture, like the still shot of him coming down. He's like covering his eyes because it's so bright, the flashes from the photography. And it's like, how can someone drive safely in that way?
Was he coming out of his
right.
driveway or something? It's his driveway?
Yeah.
It's like at the bottom of a hill, right? Like pretty steep hill.
Wow.
Crazy. Wasn't he just seen without his wedding ring, too? So,
I don't know.
Yeah. He
The
was
thing
seen
is-
without his wedding ring, so I think that's...
Confronting the paparazzi is exactly what they want because now we're playing it. Now they're selling all the videos and pictures. Like
And we're on
that's
his side.
like when he got out of the car, or whatever it was, they probably were like, yes.
I know. When I was watching that for the first time, my kids were with me, and they were like, that wasn't safe. I wasn't safe. I go, yeah, but the paparazzi just scored. Just scored with that video. But he's right. Like,
And he's a seasoned pro too, so you know he had to have lost his mind. He was at wit's end for him to do that, right?
So, and also, which just goes to show how much stress he is probably under, like trying to deal with whatever he's dealing with in his relationship right now. It's sad.
My sister has become one of the biggest Swifties I've ever met, right? And now anytime there's like, it's DM after DM after DM of everything going on in Taylor's world. And she sent me this video, and I thought it was old, but it's not. It's
From
Travis,
Barstool?
I don't know where it's from, but it's an interview with Travis Kelce talking about his relationship.
Yeah. So it's from Barstool. It's not old. And he basically was like, he gets like the whole Taylor Swift privacy thing, but also he's like really proud of his relationship.
You want to keep things private, but at the same time, like, I'm not here to like hide anything. Like, that's my girl.
That's your girl.
You know what I mean? That's my lady. So it's like, I'm proud of that. So it's like, I'm not sitting here trying to juggle, like, how can I keep this under wraps?
Yeah.
Yeah. You just don't want to let everybody into your personal life and like be able to comment on it, knowing that everything she does is getting a headline.
Isn't that great?
He has so much swag.
Do you have the clip?
Like, just to
I
say,
s-
that's my girl.
I saw where they're asking about Jake Gyllenhaal. Did you see
I
that
didn't
one?
see that.
Oh, so it was the same interview with like, so what's that song supposed to be about Jake Gyllenhaal?
All too well.
Oh, because they're like,
The
it's all too
10-minute
well about
song.
Jake Gyllenhaal. Is it about Jake Gyllenhaal? Is it about Jake Gyllenhaal? And he's sitting there, and I didn't see his answer, so I didn't know. Did you see it, Noah? Did you watch the interview? Is it about Jake Gyllenhaal?
The interview, but All Too Well is definitely about Jake Gyllenhaal.
Oh, I know you're a Swiftie, but they asked him about it.
I don't know. We'll have to look into that.
Where-
But it's funny because Taylor's on tour, and there's like a couple, like literally, like he said, everything she does makes headlines. Like when she was in the middle of singing All Too Well, a bug flew in her mouth, and she stopped singing and had to like cough it out on stage, and then continues like show must go on. Such a pro. And then she did sort of address, like, you know how yesterday we were talking about how Dave Grohl trolled her and said she doesn't perform live. She totally, in a very perfectly Taylor Swift way, clapped back at that by saying, like, oh my gosh, thank you so much for your applause. Like, you know who else deserves this? Is my band. We're playing live for you for 3.5 hours tonight. I'll never forget how generous you are as a crowd. I was like, what a classy way to respond to that.
Yeah, and I loved all the throwback pictures too, because I guess like some of her background singers and background dancers have been with her for like a decade. So it's cool that she gave them their love too, as she always does.
When she was singing All Too Well and the bug flew in her mouth, and she spit out and goes, "That's Jake Gyllenhaal."
She purposely had the bug fly in her mouth.
I'm really excited about Beverly Hills Cop, the next Beverly Hills Cop movie, right? And the trailer's out on Netflix. Have you guys seen it? It looks so good. So good.
Funny? Does it look funny?
It looks fantastic.
Good.
Yeah.
So Eddie Murphy was actually, there's a whole trailer out about it. The next one?
Beverly Hills Cop 4.
Oh, okay. So, that makes sense because in his latest interview, he was actually asked if a Beverly Hills Cop 5 would happen.
Okay.
Would that happen? True or false? And he said,
True. They're developing, so they're working on the script. Jerry Bruckheimer's who produced the movie. He's developing it, and they got the guy that wrote this last one, and I'm waiting on the script.
think about how cool this is for Eddie Murphy, how he's part of 2 huge franchises that are about to do a 5th movie, because they announced Shrek 5.
Oh my
movies
that makes
are
sense.
already coming out, and they're doing a Donkey spin-off movie.
Which is, oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
I love Donkey.
Every time I hear Eddie Murphy, I can't hear anything but Donkey.
Right, I know.
So I'm so
Then you'll love Beverly Hills Cop. Have you seen it?
Well, I try to watch because it's on Netflix right now, all of them. And I went and looked, and the first movie came out in 1989.
Yeah, it was one of his first movies.
Like, what?
And it is,
I've never seen it.
it's fantastic.
I'll have to get into it.
That kind of holds up.
The first one is good. The second one is okay. The third one is terrible.
Okay.
But
So I'll watch the first one.
The third one is one of those deals where you go, he took that job for the money because he got paid a lot
That
of money.
checks out. But did you guys see that Freaky Friday sequel's coming out?
I saw the
Cut
shows.
it out. Started filming yesterday. I'm so pumped over that.
Real quick, I want to give the Dre DiMatteo because she was, what was her name in The Sopranos? She was in The Sopranos.
Adriana.
Adriana in The
That's right.
Sopranos. Yeah.
Adriana.
Well,
Yeah.
I think a lot of people were shocked when she started her own OnlyFans. They were like, whoa, she's too big of a star to be doing that. But she was like, forget it. It's changed her life.
When we launched, we had, I would say, a couple $100 left in the bank. I'm not kidding. My house was going into foreclosure. Did I do it out of desperation? Yes, I did. It empowered me to take care of my family. So the negativity that came with it, bring it the on. Hollywood, the actual industry itself, there's a lot of shifty that goes on in Hollywood, and we all know that. It's about freedom. And I don't have to answer to anybody right now.
Good for her.
That part. I may or may not be starting an OnlyFans account.
I heard that she paid off her house in 3 days or something like that. And I don't know if she, the thing about OnlyFans, you think automatically nudity, you think about whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know if she does that. I think she just does really sexy pictures, I think, right? But there's a special, I think, a TMZ special of famous people that started OnlyFans and how much money they're making.
That's
from
interesting.
That.
I'd watch that.
Yeah, me too. It's really interesting. I feel like there's a lot of TV shows that we talk about that we're dialed in on, right? Actually, right now, 2 of my 3 boys are obsessed with Dexter because it just dropped on Netflix. And I think it's number 2 or number 3 on Netflix.
I've considered going back and rewatching it because it's such a good show.
Hearing them talk about it and asking me about the Ice Boss killer, and I'm like, oh my God, that's right. It's such a good show. They're watching that. I'm watching Game of Thrones, which is kind of, last night's episode was I brought up last week the Dallas Cowboy Cheerleader show, how good that was.
Yeah,
right?
so good.
Yeah, I know Peyton and I are watching it right now. I'm actually kind of annoyed because the other night at dinner, I decided to turn it on because I wanted to watch a couple episodes, and I know it's pretty family friendly. And so my husband and both of my kids got into it. And so now it's they all want to watch it together. So I can't watch extra episodes when I normally do in the morning when I'm watching TV by myself. And I'm they're like, wait, don't watch the episodes without us. And I'm like, you don't watch the episodes without me. And so now I have to wait. But we're pretty close to the end. I think there's 8 episodes and I'm on 7.
And then there's Perfect Wife on Hulu, which is number 1 and number 2 on Hulu right now. You got The Boys on Amazon, but then Jenna here. So I think I like to hear everyone's point of view on TV shows. But Jenna, 23 years old, and what are you watching?
You guys are missing out on the best show, arguably. I mean, I'm a little biased, but Love Island. Where is the Love Island love?
You like all those, don't you? You like the Europe ones?
I eat them up, but like Love Island, Love Island to me is like summer. Like once Love Island hits, like it's summer, it's Villa, like it's so good.
Has
you
it
guys.
always been on Peacock? Because I remember at one point, Kyle, weren't you into it at some point? But I don't think it was on Peacock.
Like, I don't think it's Love Island is a lot like a lot of the different Netflix reality shows.
Okay.
It's a lot like The Perfect Match. It's a lot like Too Hot to Handle.
Bachelor in Paradise.
It's similar, but it's not the same show.
So what's the deal with Love Island, Jenna? Why are you into it?
Well, it's just there's this year specifically. Okay, so there's Love Island USA, Love Island UK, Love Island Australia. They got all the countries for Love Island, so you don't really run out of shows. And the best part is that there's a new episode that drops every night except for Wednesdays. But anyways, usually Love Island UK is like the one, right? Like they're classier, their banter is better.
Well, what's the concept? Who's on an island?
So they all go in a villa. Hot singles enter the villa, okay? And they're trapped there. And basically, you have to form a connection, or you get dumped from the island.
Who's the decision maker?
Well, so they have some votes where like we vote. I was voting. I have the app. But a lot of it is just like if you are not coupled up. Like there's always an odd one. So if you're not coupled up with someone.
Isn't this just like Perfect Match on Netflix?
Yeah. It is
it
very
the same
similar.
show?
Pretty much.
I think Perfect Match. I mean, I think because Love Island UK, I guess, has been around for a long time, so I'm sure that they kind of got ideas from each other and whatnot. But Love Island USA this season, you guys.
USA.
Are people sleeping with each other and stuff? Is that what happens?
Yeah, they do get a little crazy.
So they do.
They don't. They'll just like show like at night. They'll show everyone in their beds, and it's just like
You'll see the covers moving,
and you're like, what's going on over there? No, but you guys, like, I usually ride for the UK, but I'm sorry, the US is taking this season
because of what?
Good. The characters, like now there's a few characters that I don't really like. But like to start off, they all just brought so much personality and character that you just kind of love all of them. Like Odell Beckham Jr.'s little brother's on it.
Is he Odell Beckham Jr.?
Yeah, his name is Cordell. I'm like Cordell, Odell, just very similar.
Do they acknowledge that that's his brother?
Yeah, but he was kind of a humble king for a while. He didn't say anything about it until he got a girl, and he's like, yeah, slight flex. Like my brother's a professional football player.
So like, do the girls beef over the guys? Like, is there drama with that kind of stuff?
So much drama, and that's kind of what I was explaining to you guys. Big little love triangle right now with Andrea, she went home, sorry, but it was Andrea, Rob, and Leah, and it's getting messy.
So that's what you like, is the messy, like stealing somebody's person?
I love, there's definitely couples that I root for, and I'm like, oh, I love them, but it's like you can't turn away from the messiness.
So you root for different people to hook up, and then do they hook up because people voted for it?
Yeah. Well, if you get voted into a couple, or they kind of it's kind of crazy. Like they really, I think time seems a little bit different in there because they're like 4 days in and they're like, I love this girl. Like, I'm ready to leave the villa.
Have you watched, do you have Apple TV?
Yeah.
Have you watched Presumed Innocent yet?
Yes.
It's good, huh?
Yeah, I haven't. Well, there'll be a new episode
tomorrow.
Except Apple TV is pretty clutch because they usually drop it the night before.
Wait a minute.
It'll be on tonight.
Wait. I'm thinking of the other show.
It's tomorrow. Dark Matter?
Dark Matter's tomorrow.
I think both of them come out on Wednesday, but they actually release them pretty early Tuesday night.
Man, I hope I can get it in my hotel. I don't think so. Anyway, well, thank you, Jenna.
Of course, anytime.
Mariah, good morning. How are you?
Good morning.
Good morning. So, Mariah, you're playing this game, One of Us is Lying, for a trip to a 2-day stay to San Diego at the Catamaran and 4 tickets to SeaWorld, okay?
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Okay,
we're going to go around the room. Every single one of us is going to tell you a story. They're all true, except for one story. One of us is lying, okay?
All right.
Okay.
I'm gonna sniff it out.
All right, Peyton, you go first.
Okay, this is really embarrassing, and it happened the other day. So I call my boyfriend Kadeem Daddy, but it's not in like a sexy way. I think I get it from my mom because my mom calls my dad Dad and Daddy since we were kids. So it'll be things like, Daddy, can you turn off the light? Or like, Daddy, stop taking all the covers. Like, it's nothing spicy or sexy about it. So anyways, we were leaving to go on a little date last week, and I'm walking down the stairs, and I'm like, I don't want to drive, but we're going to take my car. So I was like, Daddy, can you please drive? And then I look up, and boom, there's my neighbors laughing at me, and then they proceed to shake my boyfriend up. Very embarrassing.
Okay. That's one story. Rich, how about you?
Okay, so I just found out from a record person, a friend of ours, that the John Jane Rich Show is in 3 of the top 4 music documentaries of all time. So the top 4 are Taylor Swift, of course, the Jonas Brothers, Justin Bieber, and Katy Perry. Our show is featured in Katy Perry's documentary, Justin Bieber's documentary, and the Jonas Brothers documentary. So our radio show is in 3 of the top 4 music documentaries of all time.
Okay.
Okay, how about you, Kyle?
So I went on vacation with my family. It was like my dad and my siblings. And we went to Hawaii and we were swimming in the ocean. And I actually got caught by like the undercurrent and I literally almost drowned. Like they had to like come save me and like I washed up on the shore and that's one of the reasons why I now hate the ocean. That's my story.
Okay, you got those 3 stories, Mariah?
Yeah.
Okay, now I'll give you
I have a feeling.
Here's my story because we went boy, girl, or girl, boy, girl, boy. I've been living in a hotel for 10 days because nobody knows this yet, but I figured I was going to tell the story on Monday. But we sold our house and we bought a new house, but the new house doesn't close yet. And when it does close, we'll be moving to Gilbert, close to Rich, to Gilbert, Arizona. And I was going to tell that story on the air next week. That's why I've been living in a hotel. So you got 4
now
stories.
I'm conflicted.
So you've got Kyle's story, which is about hating water.
Almost
drowning.
Hitting the ocean.
Peyton's story, calling her boyfriend daddy. Rich's story, saying John Jane Rich are in 3 of the top 4 documentaries. And my story that I'm moving to Gilbert, Arizona because I sold my house. That's why I've been living in a hotel for 10 days.
Okay. So I definitely think Rich is telling the truth because, I mean, you guys are marvelous and I know you have connections with those celebs and they've been on your show before. Peyton threw me off right off the bat. I feel like I've never heard her mention on the show before calling Kadeem daddy, which just is kind of out there. So I feel like we would have heard about it. Kyle's is very believable. Having a fear of the ocean. A lot of people have had traumatic events like that. Yours sounds believable because you've had so many issues with your house. I wouldn't be surprised that you guys just want to jump ship and move. But moving next to Rich...
Not next to Rich, same town. It's not
same
next
town,
to...
but Rich has a long drive to work, and you hate that. You say you would never, ever do that.
She's really dialed into the show.
Yes. You would never, ever do that. And so I thought it was going to be Peyton because the daddy thing, that's interesting, Peyton. Very interesting. I'm going to go with John Jay now, I think, because I just don't believe that.
I would never move to Gilbert. Never. Never.
Too far.
I will never visit Gilbert.
Gilbert is a great town.
It is. It is a great town.
Too far for his
Some of
bubble.
my favorite restaurants are in Gilbert, but I will never, ever live there.
Also known as Joyride Taco.